Guys, welcome back. This is going to be an imperfect tense review, like video, going over what the heck imperfect tense is. If you remember, hopefully you do, imperfect tense is like the bridge that we crossed when we finished reviewing Spanish 1, which is all perfect, that's not a thing. That was all present tense, and we went through the imperfect, talked about how it was a type of past tense, and then that led us into the preterite tense, which is what we're kind of practicing for the most of the year, and that's like the basic, normal, nothing special past tense. So we're going to go back, take a look at the imperfect, give you some reminders of what the heck it is, when you use it, what the conjugations are, and so on. So I'm going to start here. This is going to be like just the regular, nothing special, no stem changes, no anything, imperfect tense. And then second video will be what is irregular and how do they change. So what the heck is imperfect tense? Imperfect tense just means that it's a type or it's a version of the past tense. If you remember, I mentioned that it's technically something that occurred in the past, but that has occurred frequently or often enough where it could have continued into our current time as well. So it's like maybe you were really athletic as a kid, but you are still just as athletic now. It's not just like I was, a musician as a child and then I completely gave it up or something like that. So it just means that it's something that could have been habitual. It's just it happened frequently and it could have continued to the current time. Regular, A-R-E-R-I-R, because that's how they end. Verbs follow certain rules. Some of the rules that they have for AR verbs is that they have an accent on the nosotros. Technically, so do the ER and IR, but those are separate because ER and IR verbs actually have, incorrect grammar, accents on all of the conjugations. All of them have an I with an accent in it. So you'll see that when we look at the charts too. Similarly, they also have a rule where they have the same conjugations for yo and for the one individual. So like an L, A, or usted, they have the same endings for both of those parts of the chart. And you'll kind of see those as we go through the AR and the ER and IR. So down here, this is all the irregular forms. So when I do the second video, which I do recommend you go look at after we do this one, is talking about what makes it irregular. Luckily, there are only 3 types of irregular verbs, if you can see down here, in the imperfect tense. And that's exactly what the next video will go over. So we'll look at that part in a second. Or in the next video, I mean. So for AR verbs, in the imperfect tense, again, this is a type of past tense. They look like this. The ending for yourself is aba, A-B-A. The ending for tú is abas. The ending for one individual, again, same as yo, that's one of the rules, is aba again. The nosotros, another rule, has an accent, right, for the A, and it's abamos. That looks relatively similar to what nosotros look like with the AMOS at the end. And then a lot of people, ellos, ellas, ustedes, would be aban. So, an example, we have hablar. And I specifically chose this one because it looks kind of like a tongue twister. Look at all these endings. So, hablar means to speak or to talk, right? So if you're talking about yourself, look at how that's spelled. It is hablaba. So the root, the part that doesn't change because it's a regular verb, is H-A-B-L. A-R is what always changes with some of these new endings that we just looked at in the first chart. So yo hablaba. I used to speak, right? Yo hablaba con mi abuela. I used to always talk to my grandma. I still do. So that's why it's imperfect. Tú hablabas con tus amigos. I'm sure you still talk to your friends. Maybe they're different friends, but I'm sure you still talk to friends, right? One person hablaba. Mi mamá hablaba de El Salvador. My mom used to always talk about El Salvador when she was growing up. She still does, because that's where she's from. Nosotros has that accent mark, remember? Hablamos de what? The Netflix, because it's been around for ages, and I'm sure we still talk about what we're watching on Netflix. And ellos, ellas, a bunch of people, hablaban de su familia, because everyone's always talking about their family. So, imperfect tense, because it's something habitual, something that we do, something that's occurred more than once and probably still is happening in our current time, because I'm still talking about my family, I'm still talking to my friends, my mom's still talking about life from El Salvador because she always talks about things that happened to her back then. So, follow those rules, right? As an accent for nosotros, one of the rules that comes with imperfect tenses, and it has the same accent, same conjugation for yo and for one individual. The second type of verb, technically two parts, or two types. Or is it? This is the one that I want. I mislabeled my stuff, I'm sorry. Ignore the fact that it says irregular up there. That's not what it should be. These are ER, IR verb endings. So, both endings have the same chart, which you've kind of seen in the preterite tense as well. This is a different type of accent rule that they follow. So if you remember, I said that they have certain accents that they kind of have to have. ER and IRs actually have accents across the entire chart, and they have them on the I's. They just don't have them for nosotros because we're not looking at that one. Endings, though, are still relatively similar. A, AS, A, AMOS, AN. There's just less B's, like you saw in the other one. So, example. These are some of the chores that you guys had from previous vocab. Barrer, to sweep. So I'm talking about how everyone does it and still probably has to do it now in their current lifestyle. Yo barría. Tú barrías. One person barría again. So again, right? Same conjugations for the yo and for the one individual. Nosotros barríamos and ellos barrían. Same rules that we were looking at, right? They have accents, in this case, across the whole board, and they have the same conjugation for yo and for one individual. Sacudir, same idea, except here you're looking at an IR verb, but it still has the same chart. It's following. Yo sacudía, tú sacudías. One person, mi mamá, mi prima, mi amiga, whoever, sacudía. Nosotros sacudíamos, and lots of people, digamos, ellos, ustedes, sacudían. So, still has that same rule where did I? Here it is. I have way too many things open, sorry. Where it says that for ER-IR verbs, accents are on all of the conjugations on the letter I, and they all have the same conjugation for yo, and they one individual. That's exactly what that was, right? So, same individual, or same person/individual, same endings. So, that is what a basic, regular, imperfect conjugation is. These are not irregular verbs. They are not random, like different spelling verbs. They don't break any rules. That's how the basic conjugations work. I'm going to do another video, show you what the irregular verbs change to or what they break, and then you guys can hopefully get a refresher on that too. All right, hopefully this wasn't too difficult. And if you guys have questions, of course, reach out so I can try to help you out too. All right, I'll see you guys in class.